Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'll be discussing Game 11 of the Toronto Blue Jays season, and this is the first time the Blue Jays will face the Baltimore Orioles this year. They win by a final score of 7-1. All runs basically coming by the long ball for the Blue Jays, and actually all runs in this game pretty much came by the long ball in this game, except for one run in the ninth, which ended up getting walked in with the bases loaded. But in the top of the third, with a runner on, Steve Pearce hits an absolute bomb of a home run to left field. It almost lands in the second deck out there in Camden Yards out there in left field. That is a very, very long way. Wow, that was an absolute no-doubter. It was on a 3-0 pitch. Actually, the first time, they said it was the first time Steve Pearce has ever homered on a 3-0 pitch in his career, so that's kind of interesting. But it's good to see Steve Pearce starting to pick up the bat. I know last year he kind of had a meh season. Like, he wasn't that great, but he wasn't that horrible. He's already got 3 home runs already, and we're just into starting the second week of the season, and Steve Pearce already has 3 home runs. He's actually looked really good so far in the leadoff position for the Blue Jays. So maybe they've found their leadoff hitter. I know they've tried out Devin Travis, but I personally think Devin Travis is a better number 9 hitter because he swings at everything, and a good quality of a leadoff hitter is to be patient at the plate, not swinging at the first pitch all the time like Devin Travis tends to do. Steve Pearce is a little more patient. He's got the pop in his bat. He's already got 3 home runs this year. Incredible start for Steve Pearce. But in the bottom half of the inning, Manny Machado would respond right back. He hits a long solo home run himself for the Baltimore Orioles. That would be the only run the Orioles would get in this game. And, well, that's the only thing the Orioles really have going for them this year. It's all about Manny Machado this year. What will they do with him? Will they trade him? Will they re-sign him? That's going to be the big cloud, like I said when I was talking about in the preseason, that's going to probably hang over the Orioles this whole season. It's going to be a big distraction, probably in the clubhouse. And I don't know. I just can't see the Orioles affording a Manny Machado. They're going to probably have to pay him nearly like a max contract. They're going to have to pay him a ton of money if they're going to want to keep him in Baltimore. But we'll get on to that in another date. So pretty much nothing happened from the third to essentially the ninth inning. When in the ninth inning, the Baltimore Orioles bullpen gets into trouble. They load up the bases. They actually walk in a run before Josh Donaldson steps up, and he hits a grand slam to center field. That would be game, set, match right there. Game is over. 7-1 Blue Jays. Another home run for Donaldson. That is good that he's off to starting to get off to a hot start. He's starting to rack up the RBIs there too. I believe with the grand slam, I'm pretty sure he's passed Justin Smoak for the team lead in RBIs now with the grand slam. So I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to double check it. But if he's not past him, he's probably right up there with him, or almost tied with him for the team lead in RBIs. So great game for the Blue Jays offense. All the runs basically, again, coming by the long ball, except for the one run that was walked in the ninth. On the pitching side, J-Happ looked very good. He struck out 9. Obviously, the only one run he gave up was the home run to Manny Machado in the bottom of the third. 3 walks. A little high for walks, 3 walks. But, with the 9 strikeouts, it doesn't really matter. He gets the win. He goes 6 innings, only giving up, I believe, 5 hits. So that's not too terrible outing for J-Happ. I thought he looked really solid from what I saw. Orioles, again, this is the part that's going to hurt their season. It's their starting rotation. I said it before in the first game of the Texas series, the video I made, and I'll touch on that, why I didn't do videos on the other 2 series games. But, like I said, like I mentioned before the first game in the Texas series. And what I mentioned after the end of our first homestand is that Baltimore probably has the worst rotation in all of baseball. They're going to give up a lot of runs this year. In my eyes, I don't really see a true number one ace on their staff. They have a lot of guys. Their rotation's filled with a lot of guys that are maybe number twos, maybe 3-4 pitchers at best. That's being really generous to some of the guys in their rotation, but Dylan Bundy didn't really look that good. I thought at times he pitched okay, but in the end, the Blue Jays got the better of him. They got the better of the Baltimore Orioles bullpen in this one, so that's good. For the bullpen side, Oxford, I believe Danny Barnes and Ryan Tepera all looked really solid. They all pitched one inning. I believe they all gave up a hit. And I think the only one that got a strikeout was Oxford and I believe Danny Barnes. So, not too bad. Solid outing for the bullpen. Again, the bullpens looked really good. And that'll pretty much do it for today's game. But I wanted to also mention why I didn't do games 2 and 3. Actually, game 2, I went out to a hockey game. I live in the Toronto area. I went out to watch a hockey game with a group of friends, night out of town. So I didn't really have a whole lot of access. I couldn't really watch the Blue Jay game at all. So I decided not to do a video on it. And yesterday's video, I didn't do it as well because, of course, my luck. I have a lot of car problems. I cracked the windshield of my car, and then I had to get my tire sensor and all that stuff replaced, and an oil change and a coolant flood. I had to get a whole bunch of work done on my car. So I didn't really get to have time to watch the game. So I'm not gonna, say I watched the game and I clearly didn't. So that's why I didn't do those 2 videos. So I just wanted to be honest with you guys. That's why I didn't do games, the second and third game of that series, kind of personal stuff and just hanging out with some friends. So I didn't really get the chance to catch those 2 games. So that's why the videos weren't up there. But I did see tonight's game, so that's good. Also, I might start doing Los Angeles Dodger videos too, about their season and how their season's going, because the Dodgers are my second favorite team. Actually, their whole schedule, it kind of works out with my work schedule really well. A lot of their games start later at night, so I can catch a lot of their games that they play, and I like some of the players on their team as well, and they're a fun team to watch, just like the Blue Jays, so I kind of cheer for the Dodgers as well. So I might do that in the future. I'm not too sure about that just yet, but if you see some Dodger game review videos on the channel, you'll know why, because obviously they're my second favorite team, so I'm going to start watching some of their games. But if you made it to this part in the video, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow when we review game 2 of the series against the Baltimore Orioles.